Hi guys, welcome to lesson 10.6, trigonometric ratios. Our objective is that I can find and use trigonometric ratios. You can use sine, cosine, and tangent ratios to find the measurements of sides and angles of right triangles. Now, this is a topic that unfortunately a whole bunch of you guys saw on the map test a couple weeks ago, and we are just now teaching it to you. So, trig ratios, sine, cosine, and tangent. And we're dealing with angle A in the triangle there. So sine is going to be the length of the opposite over the hypotenuse. Cosine is the attached over the hypotenuse. And tangent is opposite over attached. SOHCAHTOA.
This is an old Indian chief. He stands with Black Hawk over in the Oregon River. Chief SOHCAHTOA. That's all you have to remember. Chief SOHCAHTOA. Or you could memorize all of these things. But if you know my friend, the great Indian warrior, Chief SOHCAHTOA, you know he says how, and he's going to show us how, because we can do these on the calculator.
Yep. All right, so what are sine, cosine, and tangent for angle E? So I always start by marking where is angle E on my triangle. So I always put that little angle mark in the corner for it, so I can use that as my reference point. So sine is the opposite over the hypotenuse. So opposite is looking straight across from the angle. Where do we get? So O over H. So opposite is 9. And our hypotenuse is always the longest side, which is 15. So 9 over 15 can reduce to 3/5. Okay. Cosine of E is going to be equal to the attached side over the hypotenuse.
Well, both of these are attached.
Well, the attached is the one that has the right angle. Remember, it's the attached leg over the hypotenuse. That's why we use H for hypotenuse. Okay, so we have 12 over 15, which is going to give us 4/5. Lastly, tangent, which is what Ms. Zirzo and I go on often during these lessons. Opposite over attached.
Or what do you call a guy who's been laying out at the beach all day? A tangent.
Oh, wow. Just wait until, just wait. We've got a great joke for you at the end of this lesson. All right, so opposite over attached. Opposite is 9. Attached is 12. 9 over 12 is 3/4.
They're on pins and needles.
Oh, I know. The anticipation is building. It's wonderful. What are sine, cosine, and tangent for angle A in this triangle? Again, I always mark what angle I'm dealing with. So sine is the opposite over the hypotenuse. So opposite is 15 over the hypotenuse, which is 17. And can't reduce that. Just leave it as a fraction. Cosine is attached over hypotenuse. So 8 over 17. Notice that's the side that's attached to the angle, the leg attached to it. Okay? Tangent is opposite over attached. Opposite is 15. Attached is 8. 15/8.
There is nothing improper about that fraction. Just leave it alone.
Okay. I want you guys to do letters D and D.
D and D?
Yep. Dungeons and Dragons.
All right.
So we're finding the sine, cosine, and tangent of angle C. So again, let's draw in which one is our angle that we're dealing with. It's the bottom angle there. So our opposite over our hypotenuse is 30 over 34, which reduces to 15/17. Cosine is attached over hypotenuse, so 16 over 34, and that is going to reduce to 8/17. And tangent is 30 over 16, which reduces to 15/8. Okay. Letter D. Sine, cosine, and tangent of angle A in the triangle. So sine is opposite 48 over 50, which reduces to
How about 24?
24 25ths.
That was hard.
Letter C, attached over hypotenuse, 14 over 50, which is going to reduce to 7 25ths. And lastly, tangent, which is opposite over attached, 48 over 14, which is going to reduce to 24 sevenths. Okay. Moving on to the next page. Finding a trig ratio. We want to know what is the sine of 38 degrees. So this is where we are going to use our calculators. And we need to go to math. Where are they? Oh, the trig. That would help. So
Where'd you go?
we go second trig, or draw. And then you select which one you want to work with from there. Okay, so just to show you on the calculator, we push the second button and draw, brings up the trig ratios. And the first one we want to do is the sine, so we take the first. Sine of 38 is equal to 0.62.
You're just going to do hundredths?
Yeah, just do hundredths. You okay with that?
Yeah.
Okay. Let their chemistry teach them about sig figs.
Yeah.
All right. Cosine of 51, you're going to do the same thing. You're going to do second trig, and cosine is our third value. Type in 51, enter, and you get 0.63. Tangent is the fifth entry.
Tangent.
Okay. And go ahead and do letters D, E, and F on your own. You may have to use your Chromebook and bring up the calculator feature on that and use the advanced aspect of it to get the sine, cosine, and tangent functions. So tangent of 79 degrees is 5.14, cosine of 61 degrees is 0.48, and the sine of 48 degrees is 0.74. Okay? Now, problem 3, finding the measure of a missing side length. So this is where we're going to use our ratios. So we're looking for angle 59, so 59 degrees there. So what are we trying to find? We're trying to find the side that is the opposite, and we know the length of the hypotenuse. So we're going to do the sine of 59 degrees. So write sin 59 equals x over 17. Now how do we solve for this? Well, we multiply both sides by 17, right? So when we type that into the calculator, it's 17 sine 59, which is going to be 14.57. So when we have it typed into the calculator, it'll look like this. We have 17 sine 59. Just type it in just like you write it, and hit enter, and you'll get the side length. Okay? So we're going to do the same thing for letter B. Figure out what angle it is that we're working with, and we've got the opposite and the attached that we know. So if we've got opposite and attached, we're going to say tangent of 40 is equal to 20 over x. Ooh, now we need to solve for x. So we're going to multiply both sides by x and divide. So you got x tan 40 equals 20. And then divide by tangent of 40.
You go the backwards one, right?
Hmm?
You go the backwards one?
No, because it's still just tan 40, 20 divided by tan 40.
I thought you could do that.
No.
Can't you do that on the negative?
No, that's the arctan.
Huh. I swear I did it on the negative last year. 20
Divided
by
tangent of 40. You get 23.84. Okay. Letter C, what do we know? We've got angle 51, and we know we've got the attached, and we have the hypotenuse. So we're going to use cosine. So cosine of 51 equals attached over hypotenuse. So the attached is 10 over x. So notice all we need to do for these kinds of problems is switch the x and the 51, because we're multiplying by x and dividing by cosine 51. So it's 10 divided by cos 51, which is going to be equal to 15.89. Okay, I want you guys to try letters D, E, and F on your own, and then we're going to go over them. So we've got the 27 degrees, and we know the attached and the hypotenuse, so that's going to be cosine. Did you just write the answer for them?
I did.
Without showing the work first?
I'm showing the work, but maybe they actually paused the video as suggested and started it, and they want to see if they got their answer right. So they see the answer and they said, yes, I got it right. Or they see the answer and say, nope, I didn't get it right. How should I have done it? Sorry, I was actually...
We waited until chapter 10 to come up with that idea. All right. So multiply both sides by 20 and you get 17.82. Letter E, we're looking for the sine of 60. So let's see.
Well, how do you know it's the sine?
Because it is the opposite and the hypotenuse. So, sine sine of 60 is equal to x over 17. Multiply both sides by 17 and you get 14.72. Okay, letter F. Find our angle. We've got 53 degrees, so we know the opposite and we know the attached. So that one's going to be a cosine. No, sorry, tangent. Tangent is opposite and attached. Tangent of 53 is equal to x over 12. And we get 15.92 degrees.
Go ahead and take a Tic-Tac break if you need one.
All right, problem number 4, finding the measures of angles. So this gets a little trickier. So same thing, let's set it up with what we know and what
Found it! No?
No, wrong angle.
Okay.
We're going for the question mark angle. So we have an opposite and we have a hypotenuse, so we're going to say sine of x, sin x, equals opposite 39 over 44. Now, to solve this, we need to use another feature on our calculator, which is the inverse, the negative.
Thank you. I knew it was on here somewhere.
To do this, we're going to take the inverse sine,
which is sine to the negative 1.
Sine to the negative 1. And we're going to type in our ratio, 39 over 44, in the parentheses, and hit enter. So it is 62.42 degrees. Okay. So the key here, guys, is you just need to be able to set these up correctly. The magic blue box does all of the work for you. So, question mark angle for letter B, we have the attached and the hypotenuse, so it's going to be cos B, or cos of x, equals the attached 24 over the hypotenuse 36. When you use that inverse function, you get 48.19
Degrees.
degrees.
Make
Don't
sure you
forget
have your
the
degrees.
Yep, don't forget the degrees when we're finding the measure of an angle. Letter C, we have an opposite and we have a hypotenuse.
That's the sign again.
That's a sine again.
You wrote tan.
Oh, because that's opposite and attached, not hypotenuse. So where's our right angle?
Okay, but this is the angle we're looking for.
Right. Opposite, attached. Because the hypotenuse is the only
Opposite and attached. That's what I meant.
Yeah. So, tangent of x is equal to 10 over 33. And when we do the inverse function, we get x is equal to 16.86 degrees. Okay? I want you guys to try letters D, E, and F on your own, and then we will go over them. So letter D, 51.99 degrees, is its sine of x is equal to the opposite 26 over 33, the hypotenuse. Letter E is approximately 39.10 degrees. Tangent of x is equal to 13 over 16. And letter F is approximately 29.59 degrees. And that is the cosine of x equals 20 over 23. All right, now, if you're looking for a challenge, you can work through problem number 5, which is identifying or using angle of elevation and depression. Mr. Boland didn't change the title again. I know. So you can work through these problems, and it deals with, you have to make some drawings and come up with some ideas of what they're going to be. These are challenge problems, guys, especially because you have to interpret what you're seeing in the pictures properly. So if you go through and do your work, I will show my answers. You can see my wonderfully drawn airplane. And
That's an airplane?
that is an airplane. It's got a tail and two kind of wings sticking off to the side. It comes to a point.
It's not the kind of plane I fly. Did you know that?
I know you fly a plane.
It definitely doesn't look like that.
You know what? Give me a break, all right?
Okay.
I'm not a great drawer.
All right.
It's better than that.
Okay. Sorry, Publishers Clearinghouse.
All right, so for this one, sine of 14 equals 6,000 over x. You go ahead and solve it, and x is equal to 24,801.39 meters. We were just talking about that movie. That's the cover of it. All right, letter B, from a horizontal distance, height at the top of a flagpole, 84.12 feet is what you would get. Random historical note, during the 1920s, there was a fad called flagpole sitting, where people would literally see how long they could sit on top of a flagpole. Pretty stupid, huh?
Klinger did it in an episode of MASH.
Did not know that.
Yep.
All right, last one, wheelchair ramp. We want to know how long it's going to be. What is the angle of inclination of that wheelchair ramp? And it would be 9.59 degrees, not meters, degrees.
Let me fix that for you.
Thank you. All right, so now moving on to the summary. Your level of understanding, rate your level of understanding. Let me know where you guys are at, 1 through 4. Write down any questions you have. Here's my funny joke. Sine of tureen divided by cosine of tureen is equal to?
Tangerine.
I laugh way too hard at that joke. Okay, so that's all for today. See y'all later.